Alrighty, I'm alive. All right, so a couple more things here. Cut, score, bend, peel, we're done. We finished that in the previous video. Now we're gonna focus on carving, sanding, flattening, and connecting. Carving's really simple. You have this is just an extra piece of foam core from that I made. It was part of the toe. I cut it off. But in order to make this toe conform and taper down to the end, as you can see there, I had to carve each one of these and take a sliver off. And what I did is I extended this all the way out, or maybe like 1.5 inches or so. And then I would just kind of like carve a little bit of the pieces off. Sometimes I would hold it like this and I could just like kind of carve down. And just like you're slicing turkey, carve away. And I tried to angle it all the way down to the paper there. And you can get kind of make a nice gradual shift from here to there. So that's what I want you to do, is just kind of practice carving and manipulating the material and just kind of seeing what it's all about. Oops, I dug in too deep. Carving. Okay. Sanding, that's pretty simple. So your material list, you hopefully had like 100 or 150 grit or something laying around the house. I had this left over from a radial sander I have downstairs. I couldn't find anything else in my tool area, but you can sand. So I'm just gonna take this here and you can sand off areas, and just to kind of review, you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see that it's sanding it. So if I need to take something down, like for example, I just started to sand this. I'm doing it by hand, but I have to go to the hardware store and I have to purchase some more sandpaper. And what I'm gonna do is just get a variety pack of sandpaper for like $5, and then I'll just use that and I'll just hand sand this whole thing. Also, if you look here, this tapers in, it goes on an angle in, and I didn't see that until the very end. So I'm gonna have to sand in a little bit too, just try to kind of match what as much of the shoe as I can. And so does this tapers in as well. So sanding's done. Flattening, carving, sanding, flattening a form. Flattening, I have the screwdriver here, but I'm using the blunt end of it, and I'm just kind of like squishing the foam because it's compressible. I'm just squishing it and I'm flattening it, and I'm just kind of like doing this to it, seeing what happens. It squishes it down a little bit, makes it a little bit more malleable. You might even be able to do that to these guys as well, if you wanted more of a kind of like a worn look, much like some of the sneakers do have. That can work well. So that's kind of like smashing and flattening or whatever. You can also take like a frying pan and try to do it. I just thought this was kind of nice. It's almost like muddling, if you're ever familiar with muddling pills, or sometimes people will muddle like fruit, stuff like that. So that's flattening. And the last one is connecting and joining. What you're gonna do is, I can even connect this. Well, let me just try to find a new piece here. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut this off, just like so. And what do I wanna do here? I'm going to score this, and then I'm going to cut and cut, just like that. And what I have here is, and maybe on the other side, well, so what I'm gonna do is fold it, and you kind of see, so I have these like 3 little fingers, if you will. I'm gonna rip those off, come right off, which is pretty cool. And then on this side, or I'm sorry, on this side, I'm going to score or I'm just kind of drawing these straight lines like that, break it up, and I'm going to cut a groove out because I'm going to connect this form on an angle as it turns in. So I'm going to do a V groove here. Really? And you might find other ways to manipulate the medium. I'm just kind of doing a few tricks, and I'll have a few illustrations in this assignment that you can look to and probably mimic some of those things and say, oh, I could use that. It shows how to put cardboard together, but cardboard and this is almost the same thing. So now, what if I wanted to see how this bends now? It kind of bends in, right? And I'm going to use these flaps as a tab, but now because I cut them into strips, you can kind of just glue it to like so. And then this can glue down on something that's curved. Let me find the curve thing here. Here we go. Oh, this is curved. Well, I'm gonna have you. So this is curved here. And then what you do is you just glue it down. And here I have Eileen's Tacky Glue, which I find is great for this, but if you ran out, I suggest get some more, but if you just want to use Elmer's glue, you can go that route. And so basically I'm just gluing this down right on the edge there, on a curved edge, and you can see that I can adjust these tabs on the inside, and the Eileen's Tacky Glue is kind of nice because it stays, but if you want to tape this down, give me a piece of tape, there we go. Tape shouldn't be the hard part, but apparently it is. So you can tape it down to hold it in place while it's gluing, and then you have yourself a nice seam. And this is good for when you, again, have, when you're gonna put this side, you're gonna glue this stuff to the base. And that's gonna happen here. So it's gonna look like, I guess that. Does that make sense? So then that's how you would start to build up. Other than that, I think I covered all my bases. And in the first stage, you'll see how to build this. So you'll learn a couple more tricks of the trade, but it's all basically there. So what I want you to do is to document your work, just so I know you've done this. Put everything out. I mean, you can clean this up a little bit, but put your carving, your bending, your the V grooves, all that stuff, and photograph it and submit it to the assignment just to show that you've manipulated the material. This shouldn't take you any more than an hour altogether. All right, reach out for any questions.